States. The consummate board member is described as an ethical, principled individual with a deep desire to serve. School directors have a strong belief in the value of public schools and local control of public education for the benefit of all students. Today, school directors are expected to offer more services along with world-class instruction with limited resources. And these expectations provide a tremendous challenge for school directors who are unpaid volunteers who work tirelessly, giving of their free time away from their families to contribute to the schools and communities that they serve. PSBA has been recognizing the contributions of dedicated school directors with long-term service since 1983. The honor roll is your association's way of saying thank you to those individuals who exemplify leadership by giving unselfishly of their time and talents. And it gives me immense pleasure to recognize Mr. Edward Groft for 20 years of school board service.
Thank you.
Yes, that is tremendous. Mr. Groff, thank you so much for your commitment to public education. And you will be receiving your certificate in the mail at your home within the next couple of days.
Okay, thank you. But it's been my pleasure. I've worked with a lot of good people here. I've met a lot of good people. It isn't a job. It's an adventure sometimes.
It's certainly been interesting the past 6 months.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I had a new superintendent, new assistant superintendent, and 3 new board members, and COVID. So
right.
It's been very interesting.
Yes. Well, thank you for allowing me to come. And if you need anything, again, I'm your point of contact, and look for that in the mail, Mr. Groft.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thanks for coming to our meeting.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Autumn.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. All right.
Okay, before we continue on.
Oh, okay. Yes, Mr. Groff.
Before we continue on, I failed to let people know that we did have a short executive session for some personnel, confidential, and legal reasons. So now that I've got the legalities out of the way, we should be able to go to our building reports.
Very good. So who would you like to start this evening?
I will let you you present the people that are
Fair enough.
available.
We'll start in the middle with Mr. Muller. Why don't you go ahead, Mr. Muller, and go ahead and present for us a building report.
Excellent, Dr. Russo. Appreciate it. Good evening, fellow administrators, school board members, and school community. Again, on behalf of the middle school, congrats to Mr. Groff for your many, many years of service to our district. I know we go way back, and watching what you've done for our district is certainly outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
We've had a tremendous, productive professional learning day today in the middle school. I think all of us did, and I'm sure you'll hear about that soon. Our teachers were involved in many development opportunities, including several geared towards our building goals, Schoology, hybrid instructional strategies, and assessment practices. I'd like to thank the learning coaches, Emily Kress and Rachel Mula, for the effort that they put into creating that meaningful experience. So again, a lot to look forward to with that. And I have some exit tickets to comb through, and I already saw some of them, and some of the comments that they made were pretty proud of. Thanks to Steph Myers, who is our new student council advisor. She worked a lot with the high school student council advisors to develop that spirit theme week that we kind of implemented in our building as well, like others did 2 weeks ago. Again, we couldn't cap it off with that district-wide pep rally, but it's events like these that we have to use and kind of reinvent that help pull us together and create that sense of community amongst our students and staff. So that was a pretty cool experience a couple weeks ago. We have our first Ox Strong breakfast coming up here the next 2 Mondays. Obviously, we can't do what we've done with that, but we typically have a couple hundred students who earn positive behavior rewards. But Mr. Beeman and the Ox Strong team have created a really viable plan where we can still recognize and reinforce positive behavior. So it's taking a little different twist for 2021. But we're excited to see what that looks like here coming up next Monday. I'd like to thank the Media Center personnel. They've done a wonderful job preparing like a daily scrolling announcements for our students to watch as they enter the building every day at 7:05 up until that bell rings at 7:30. They have different things scrolling across the screen, trivia questions, thinking activities, brain games, weather. They kind of mold a lot of things into that. And that takes us right up to our announcements as we open the day at 7:30. Mrs. Spickler, our ESL teacher, sent me a couple things, pretty cool things happening up there. We basically had 13 students who've been exited from ESL services. 9 of those students have been long-term ELL students receiving services since kindergarten. So she is incredibly proud of those students. Also, she and a couple other students joined, I think, Dr. Bowman and myself 2 weeks ago as they did announcements for National Hispanic Heritage Month. We kind of read some in English, some in Spanish, and that informed the student body and our staff about the Hispanic Heritage Month. So that was neat to hear. And again, something out of Laurel Life, as you know, that's new for us this year in the middle school and high school. They participate in I guess that was across all Laurel Life classrooms that they're in, anywhere in the Tri-County area. It's like a classroom decorating contest. They're creating transition trees, symbolizes the different transitions that those students will occur and they'll go through as they go through that program. Our room came in 3rd place in a Facebook vote. And again, they had a lot of good times brainstorming, creating what those transitions, what meaningful things would happen as a result of being in that room between the staff and the students up there. So Laurel Life is pretty excited about that. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank, again, our students and staff for what they've done in the first couple months here at school. No easy chore for sure, but not one bit of complaining on the behalf of either of those two bodies. They work hard every day. Our students are doing a wonderful job. Again, a little different twist to things this year, but we'll evolve and we'll get through. It's been a very good start to the year. So it's been certainly a great time to be a Colonial, a challenging one, but certainly a great one. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Muller. We'll go right down to 4, 5, 6 with Dr. Armacost.
Great, thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Groff, on your accomplishment.
Thank you.
Hopefully that'll help your golf game a little bit.
Yeah, I feel a little taller right now.
There, I would too. All right, just real quick, again, like Mr. Muller said, thank you for the opportunity today for the professional development. We started a concept we call open door forums, so people can stop in and attend. We've had sessions on Google Classroom, eSpark, Apple Classroom today, also on a session on Linkit where we and worked with Linkit to figure out how we can print off tests after kids have completed them with just incorrect answers, allowing students opportunities to go back and just work on those things that they may not have gotten correct the first time. So that was an interesting twist to using Linkit now, and they had not had that before. So they're working on trying to roll that out for some people. We might actually get that named after us, like a gymnastics move. CVS is also part of a project with Google Classroom, a part of a pilot that's allowing our stuff from Google Classroom to link with Skyward. That's not without some of its trial and errors, but we're really excited about having that opportunity. Congratulations to our student council. We had our student council elections. They'll be up and running soon. All those were done virtually. Kids prepared their speeches virtually. Were shown in the classroom. So that, like Mr. Muller said, that's a new twist to everything. The last 2 quick things are, we started a group. As you know, we're on hybrid, and some of our kids sometimes struggle at home with logging in, getting work done, stuff like that. So we have a referral process. So every 9th and 10th period, we have groups of kids that are referred to come down and work with our integrated arts teachers, our instructional aides, administrators, counselors, on getting them started on what work needs to be done the following day. It's a small step, but at least it gets them rolling and provides some relief for some of the parents at home sometimes. Every parent we called to ask about has said, please, thank you. And finally, just thank you to our maintenance staff. We have our benches up. We have 2 outdoor classrooms. And the minute it stops raining, it's not so wet down there, our kids are excited to go out and be outside for class. So thank you for their efforts for that. And that's all of us. Thank you.
Very good. All right, Mr. Cobb and Dr. Sanders, dynamic duo.
It looks like I'm first on the list. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations, Mr. Groff.
Thank you.
Hope that improves Mr. Armacross, Dr. Armacross's golf game as well. But we too had a great day. We were able to work with Des Arnold from the LIU, working on sound walls, part of a new initiative we have at the elementary building K3. She also updated us on follow-up training on Haggerty, which we started last month with her as well. This week starts our first virtual book fair in the library, so we're excited to see how that rolls out. Mrs. Adams working on that diligently with it as well. And then I'd like to recognize Melissa Gantz, who's one of our tech coordinators, for her running her Tech Tuesdays every morning for the staff, doing things with Seesaw, screenshots, pages, etc. So she's doing a great job with that. Mr. Cobb.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Mr. Groff, congratulations. I actually hope to meet you in person someday.
Well, I hope that is soon.
It'd be nice. Yeah, it would be nice. But to recap and kind of carry on, I'm just letting you guys know that both schools, CTE and NOE, held a virtual assembly together on Friday, October 9th with Beth Riebert. She's a storyteller who shared the story Enemy Pie as part of the core value of the month, integrity. Students who demonstrated the core value of friendship were recognized at the beginning of the assembly. So it was a really nice assembly via Zoom with both schools on. So that was really cool. We got to recognize all of our students. I'm also happy to report that both schools are starting to look into Big 3 and to begin our weekly incentive drawings. As referenced before, we're getting creative with that. We're sanitizing, we're calling down a few students at a time, but we're making it happen for our students. And just a reminder that our Big 3 values, we treat others right, we make smart decisions, and we maximize your potential. Also, in connection with Dr. Sanders, they have Tech Tuesdays, we have Tech Thursdays, hosted by our math and tech coach, Jen Shear. So we've done some things with Seesaw and Connect Ed. So really nice opportunity for our teachers to learn more about technology and get the coaching that they need. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cobb.
Thanks.
Dr. Bowman, you're ready,
Good evening,
sir?
everyone. Mr. Groff, congrats on your achievement. I guess I'll just point out the obvious, though, to both you and Dr. Armacost, that I'm not sure your golf games will be quite as good as Gretchen's, so I'm not really sure that award's going to help you.
I will take a back seat.
In any case, we also had a great day today of professional learning at NOHS, due in large part to the planning and leadership of our learning coach, Emily Prest, our curriculum leaders, the administrative team. The focus of our day targeted our Big 3 for the year, that of Schoology, Apple Teacher Certification, and Link It. We actually changed things up a little bit, started with a fun goose chase. We had the winning team where we'll actually be providing a period of class coverage. All 3 administrators will be doing that for the winning team. And we ended with some mindfulness options and a reflection on the day. All in all, a productive day. So thank you for allowing us that opportunity. As we move further into the year, we continue to learn more about how to adapt CVOA to meet the needs of our students and teachers. I want to give a kudos out to Dr. Krause for her leadership in collaboration with Dr. Perry to make CVOA the best online program it can be. One that we hope moving forward will be the envy of many. Dr. Krause actually continues to schedule and lead our regular CVOA faculty meetings to work with those teachers to clarify procedures and employ best practices, keeping everyone on the same page and moving in the same direction. So it's a new challenge this year with everything else going on, but one that we've welcomed and currently right now is under the leadership of Dr. Krause. She's doing a great job with that, as well as Dr. Perry. Dr. Krause also has created a rotational schedule this year to allow us to host clubs. In recreating how we do school, we have an extended advisory period on Mondays, which was not what we've done in years past, but during that time, we've been able to create a club rotation that will allow our A/B students, per the rotating Mondays, to still experience those clubs and also then engage with those club meetings virtually as the advisors offer them, with a Zoom or a Google Meet link. On September the 29th, we were excited to recognize LaDamian Williams as our Student of the Month at Rotary. He was nominated and presented to the Rotary Club by his faculty sponsor, Katie Siegel. So we thank Mrs. Siegel for recognizing such a great young man. Mr. Little recently hosted a meeting with one of our foundation representatives, as well as a parent who works for a local business that is a grant sponsor. and we are working with them to create a grant that will target the revival of our ag program and support FFA at NOHS. Through the grant, we hope to secure funding to build and run a greenhouse on campus that will allow our students to hands-on experience in the areas of ag and horticulture. The vision for the grant includes a storefront where students would market and sell the products that they grow in the greenhouse. Even more exciting is the desire to create a mobile ag lab that would provide learning opportunities to our elementary students, as well as showcase our students in ag and FFA at events such as the local apple harvest. So we'll keep you posted, but we're working hard to obtain that grant and are excited about the possibility. A huge thank you goes out again to our athletic department, particularly Doug Worley and Patty Musselman for their leadership and for truly making athletics possible for our student athletes and our parents, despite the ever-changing guidelines from the state. Their professional and preparation throughout the entire summer and season has truly led to a smooth season and a season of competition, which certainly was in question at the start of the school year and continues to remain a priority for us. So with that, Mr. Worley gave me a few things that he'd like me to share to highlight our athletic department. At the high school level, we have 24 cheerleaders, 15 boys cross-country members, 6 girls cross-country, 34 field hockey, 34 boys soccer, 50 football, 24 golf, 20 girls soccer, 29 girls tennis, and 22 volleyball players that are all able to have the opportunity to practice and compete thanks to what we've been able to achieve this year. At the junior high level, in addition to the high school, we have 16 cheer, 22 cross country, 24 field hockey, 58 football, and that comprises both our varsity and JV football teams at the junior high level. If you were not aware, New Oxford High School was recognized as one of 6 schools in the YAIAA to have not had any coach or player disqualified from any contest last school year. This is the consecutive year that New Oxford has received this distinction, one that we are extremely proud of which we are extremely proud. The girls tennis team most recently continues their hot streak, and they went undefeated in league play, winning the Division I title. They earned the 3rd seed in the District 3 tournament and will play their semifinal match on October the 14th up at Hershey. So if you see any of those girls or our coaches, Coach Martin or Coach Work, please wish them luck. The football team is currently 4-0 in the YAIAA Division II with 2 games remaining. They have a bye week this week, and then we have, I think, our next home game against Gettysburg, and then we close out the year the week after that. So also undefeated is our field hockey team. They're currently 4-0 in Division II, and they have 9 games remaining, so we wish them well as luck. I know they aren't just winning some of the teams, they're really just kind of dominating, which is great to see. That program continues to be successful. Isabella Bankert, who is going to follow me here, represented us, New Oxford High School, in the YAIAA Golf Championships held at Briarwood on October the 1st. So she can certainly comment, but we were proud to have her represent the high school at the county level. Our cross-country championships will be held at Gettysburg on October the 24th. We just want to wish all of our runners the best of luck in that qualifier for the District 3 tournament. Boys and girls soccer continue to work to continue earning their wins. Not the most successful season for those programs, but the coaching staff has them working hard, and we're looking forward to their continued success moving forward. Girls volleyball is 3-3 with 8 games remaining on their schedule. So we wish them luck as they close it out here. I know they have a good run of 4 games this week, including one tonight. So we're thinking of them as we give this report. And we also want to thank the leadership of our varsity club for attaining the new Colonial mascot. I'm not sure if you've seen that out. I know Mr. C made visits to all of our elementary schools as well as CVIS, and has also made appearances at our home football game. So we really thank the varsity club. We also want to recognize cheer, our cheer club boosters, student council, and band for donating towards that price tag. It certainly was a lofty one, but one that we are excited about. Moving on, just want to share out that our fall open house is coming up on October the 21st, which this year, again, everybody talked about the differences, will actually consist of virtual parent conferences. We're doing that through Schoology, and we just sent out that information to all of our parents this morning about how to sign up and access those times and the schedule on Skyward. I want to thank Kelly Kuhn and Amanda Sight for their leadership with that to make it possible and for creating the communication as regards to instructions for our parents. And lastly, I want to recognize and celebrate our entire NOHS family for all of their efforts to allow our students to be on campus and to continue learning. Our teachers, counselors, and support staff really have successfully implemented a plan that truly reinvented how we do school. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. But everyone is doing their part to maintain a healthy and safe environment in which we can learn, grow, perform, and compete. From attendance to grading to virtual office hours and support sessions, I am extremely proud of what we continue to accomplish and provide for our students. I'm immensely proud of our students, in particular, for continuing to rise to the challenge by adhering to our health and safety plan and working to navigate the hybrid schedule. Now, we just need to find the recipe to get more students to complete work on their remote days. So we're working on that. I think the other schools are also combating that. So at home, we're just asking the parents to continue to support us and working with us to make sure that our students can be successful on those days. I think that's it for the high school. So if I'm allowed, Dr. Russo, I'll pass the baton to Isabella. Thank you.
Actually, before you do that, let's go to our reporter in the field, Dr. Corbin. And I believe she has some quick just special education updates, and then we'll hand it over to Isabella.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Russo. I thought I would be outside today. It's about 52 degrees, rainy, chilly, but we're surviving. We're surviving.
I love the map in the background.
Absolutely. Hey, we're virtual. This is great. Thank you to everyone. Thank you and good evening. Mr. Groff, congratulations for 20 years. That's amazing and incredible. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Also, just to kind of piggyback off of what everybody else said, I mean, today was a great day of learning, and all of the coaches and administrators that put together this in-service day really did a fabulous job. For the special ed department, some of our teachers and instructional aides participated in ABA, which is applied behavioral analysis. They spent the day learning and reviewing key components of the ABA program, which is to help increase language and communication skills, to improve attention, focus, social skills, memory, and academics. It also decreases problem behavior, and there's some ongoing assessment and consistent learning and review for the kids. So that was a great day for some of our instructional aides and teachers to do that. Also today, I worked very closely with PBIS and the CBIS climate team that was created. Our first meeting was held today with Tanya Moret from the IU, and this team falls under the PBIS umbrella and is going to allow CBIS to take a look at their climate by surveying the students, staff, parents, and the community. And after they survey, we'll use those survey results and analysis to continue and/or implement the best practices we can to improve that culture and climate at CBIS. And overall, I know it was a great day. I worked with the middle school teachers as well, and we had a terrific meeting, and they were doing all kinds of different professional development. So thank you for that opportunity for today as well, for all of our special education teachers, as well as our gifted and guidance. Today, I had the opportunity to work with our guidance counselors, and we talked more about 504 plans and that implementation. And we had some great discussions about helping our kids and really growing kids. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Corbin. And hopefully wherever you're at, you're staying warm. All right, Isabella, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations, Mr. Groff.
Thank you.
Sadly, this year we were unable to host our district-wide PEP assembly, but we were able to host a district-wide Spirit Week. So the Spirit Days consisted of Sleepy Monday, Beach Day Tuesday, Workout Wednesday, Fancy Face Mask Thursday, and Colonial Pride Friday. So this year we had to kind of get creative and figure out how we were going to incorporate everyone into our Spirit Days, since half the people were online and the other half was at school. So instead of marking people down at school who participated in Spirit Days, we actually did it online this year. So a student would just take a picture of themselves participating in the Spirit Day, and they would submit it on the Schoology. And at 3 o'clock would be the cutoff to submit a picture. And then there would be daily prizes that would be chosen randomly. And it would be a $5 gift card that the winner could choose to a store of their choice. And then at the end of the week, there were also winners, and they could either get a $20 gift card or they could get a free parking pass. So that was pretty cool how we got to do that this year still. And then with homecoming court this year, we were unable to have a homecoming this year, but we were still able to have our football game and homecoming court. So this year, the nominees for Queen included Chloe Herring, Paige Grothy, Michaela Griffith, Michaela Gephardt, and Emma Gilbert. And nominees for King included Braden Carver, Peyton Mathis, Noah Doan, Connor Herring, Caleb Kelly, and Dylan Forbes. We actually had an extra guy this year because there was a tie. And then they were crowned at our game, our football game. And the Queen was Chloe Herring, and the King was Peyton Mathis. And then that's everything.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again on your participation in the York County Golf Championships.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, we will move on to our Assistant Superintendent report.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. Graft, more congratulations are due to you. It's truly been a pleasure to get to know you and to work with you in the capacity of board president and also as a board member for the Adams County Technical Institute. I do concur with everyone else. You're truly a professional and can tell that you're committed to our children here at Conewago Valley School District and the students that attend the Adams County Technical Institute. So for that, I thank you. And it's truly been a pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you.
Today, as you heard from the principals, was a professional learning day. And the only comment, not to go into further detail about that I think it's important for the board to know and to understand is that in each of our buildings, you've heard this reference to the big three. So these were strategic goals that were built within each building. And then the ultimate goal was to align that professional learning to encourage the faculty and staff development towards those three larger goals for the year. And this is something that I am profoundly impressed with by our administrative staff and our coaches and our curriculum framework and our curriculum cabinet members is we're all working together towards collaboration and alignment of our goals and the resultant professional learning that matches to that. So I think that we're going to see some great effects of that as we progress through the school year. That is a focus for all of us, whether as an administrative team or teams at each individual building. So I couldn't be more proud of everybody who was involved in the planning. The comments is that it was a meaningful day, it was a productive day, and it was an enjoyable day. And that's something that I always like to hear is that it's meaningful and it can be applicable to everyone's role. So thank you for that. The second item that I'd like to discuss this evening is Title IX. This is a regular topic that I bring forward to the board. As you may recall, you identified me and Mr. Lovejoy, our Director of Human Resources, as Title IX coordinators for the school district, and I'm also the compliance officer. So we had the first phase of training around Title IX when this law went into effect, and that was for coordinators. And all administrators, faculty, and staff are now being trained through October 31st through our Safe Schools platform. Phase 2 of training is coming up for Title IX coordinator, investigator, decision maker through our staff and leader relationship. And those trainings will be occurring between now and the end of October. We do have the updated agreements that you approved on September 21st at CAC. This evening, the Harrisburg University updated articulation agreement is on this evening's agenda for your approval. I'm also working with Mansfield University to update that articulation agreement to bring that forward to you in November. The Conewago Valley Online Academy, we did hear Dr. Bowman give mad kudos to Dr. Krause for her leadership regarding the CBOA. I would also like to recognize the leadership at each of the levels. So the principals and assistant principals have been taking a lead on addressing that. As these students at each level are our kids. So those relationships between the school counselors and the principals are of utmost importance as we travel through this COVID season and children may or may not return back to school with us. So we want those relationships to be intact. So I do appreciate the team effort and the collaboration and the alignment K-12 to make this the very best online academy in the state is our vision. New courses for the Conewago Valley Online Academy. The course descriptions are included in the board information. There were 3 here this evening for your approval. Art for iPads through our art department, family and consumer science seminar through the family and consumer science department, and the history of rock and roll through our music department. And finally, in the area of career and technical education, Mr. Little and I have been working through the recommendations from the Pennsylvania Department of Education for the program approval of welding, engineering, and family and consumer science. Family and consumer science has been approved. The welding program has been resubmitted for approval, and we are waiting for 3 more industry representatives to be included as part of our engineering program. And then that program will be resubmitted. As we heard from Dr. Bowman, our agricultural program and FFA, we're hoping to reinstate that for approval for next school year, for the 21-22 school year. We're also looking and exploring the option of precision production and communications technology for us to apply to the Pennsylvania Department of Education, to the Bureau of Career and Technical Education. With that, that's all the news we have in curriculum instruction.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move on to our superintendent.
Hey, well, good evening, everyone. And I want to echo what everyone else said. Congratulations, Mr. Groft, on 20 years and 20 more to go. I love it.
Go for it.
Yes, I love it. All right.
Wheelchair access.
Yeah, So obviously we're into October, and well, we've dealt with a few COVID cases. I just want to explain to the public the process that we go through when we get a confirmed case or even a probable case, because it's going to differ every time, but there'll be some parts that are consistent. So with every case that when we're informed, one of the things that we do is a communication process, and that communication process is threefold. The first part of that is anyone that is directly affected by the confirmed COVID case gets a personal phone call from either myself, Dr. Seif, Mr. Lovejoy, possibly even a building administrator, to inform them of what's going on. After we make that personal contact, then I send out a sky alert that goes to the building, to the staff, and to the parents. After that, I send the same thing out to the community so they're aware of what's going on also. So that's one part that will always be consistent when we have any type of confirmed COVID case. From there, after that, our pandemic team will get together and we create an action plan in conjunction with the Department of Health. So the Department of Health conducts an investigation, gives us their results and their recommendations, and we create that action plan. That action plan may include keeping an individual student or staff member out of the school for a period of time. It could be a group of students or staff, could be a grade level, could be a school, could be the entire district. It just depends on the case. And that's why I say every case is different, because once you have to go back and you have to figure out who that person or people were around, and then figure out the contact tracing piece of it. After that action plan, though, one of the things that will always remain consistent is that we will deep clean any affected areas with our Clorox 360 machines. And that's done by our custodial staff or our head of maintenance, Mr. Murn. One of those will go in there and make sure that everything is clean, disinfected, so that when students, staff return, they are returning to a clean environment and a sterile environment. So what I'll say is every time we have one of these, I will say my email tends to get a little bit busy because people want to know what's going on. They want to know more. And I think what we need to recognize is that I understand everyone wants to know, but we need to recognize that the privacy is important for any individual this is involved. We have a right to follow the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, which is a federal law that requires us to make sure that we do not disclose any information without the patient's consent or knowledge of it. Please know, we'll do what we can to share information as much as we can, but we have to be respectful of that. And also know that we will continue to do our due diligence to ensure a quality education for our students while making sure all staff, students, teachers, and administrators are working in a healthy and safe environment. It's not the easiest of situations at times, but I will give kudos to our custodians, to our maintenance, to our pandemic team, to our administrators, and to our teachers for doing an excellent job of truly maintaining an environment that's safe for everybody. And I cannot thank them enough for that. And that's my report for this evening.
Thank you. Let's hopefully we can keep all of that to a minimum, so you don't have to send out so many emails.
Yes, I agree.
But no, with everything that's going on around us, so far so good. Let's hope we can maintain a minimum. All right. Do you have anything showing any public comment?
I do not right now at this time.
Okay. So that moving on to honors and recognition.
The board would like to congratulate LaDamian Williams, who was selected as the New Oxford High School Rotary Student of the Month for September, and our 4 seniors who were recently accepted into college.
Thank you. Congratulations to all. All right, we will move on to our Treasury Report.
The balance of the 4 accounts is $32,174,621.21. I so move the Treasurer's Report be filed for audit.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions on any of the Treasury Report? If not, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Flickinger,
Yes.
Mr. Huffman, Mr. Huffman,
Yes.
Ms. Gauker,
She did not get back on. She got lost somewhere in cyberspace.
okay, Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes.
and Mr. Groff.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. We will take recommendations for board action. Move to finance.
I'd like to motion items 1 and 2 under finance for approval.
All right, we have items 1 and 2. Is there any additions or corrections? Any questions? If not, I need- Thank you, Bill.
Sorry.
All right,
Jumpy.
roll call vote, please.
Okay, Mr. Buckley,
Yes.
Mr. Flickinger,
Yes.
Mr. Huffman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
and Mr. Groff.
Yes. All right, we have Ways and Means.
I recommend items 1 and 2 and additional items 3 through 5 under Ways and Means for board approval.
Okay, we have a motion to approve 1 and 2, plus the additional items of 3 through 5. Any additions or corrections? If not, could we have a second, please?
Second.
All right. Jeff?
Jeff.
Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes.
Mr. Flickinger,
Yes.
Mr. Huffman,
Yes.
and Mr. Groff.
Yes. All right, we'll move on to personnel.
I'd like to recommend items 1 through 10 and additional items 11 through 14, personnel for board approval.
Okay. Are there any questions on 1 through 10 or 11 through 14? If not, can I have a second?
Second.
Tara says second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
Mr. Buckley,
Yes.
Mr. Flickinger,
Yes.
Mr. Huffman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
and Mr. Groff.
Yes. All right, we have no line items for property and supplies. My dates I have written down here is to remember November 2nd for our study session and November 9th for our board session. Is there any other business which may properly come before the board? Still no public comment on any non-agenda items? Okay, at 8:26, I adjourn the business meeting.